A 9-year-old girl deliberately puts on mature makeup and takes advantage of the time when her mother is not home, lies next to her father dressed in a sexy outfit. Then she says to her drunk father,
Let me take care.
The adoptive father is instantly scared and sits up and scolds his adopted daughter for saying such filthy words, but the adopted daughter still refuses to let go, so he angrily sends his adopted daughter back to her room. But he never would have thought, even though the adopted daughter looks like a 9-year-old girl on the outside, she is actually in her 30s. There were previous adoptive fathers who rejected her advances, and the end result was that their entire families were killed by her. But such a super disaster was actually actively applied for adoption by the adoptive father and mother. It turns out that when the wife was about to give birth to their third child, she suddenly started bleeding profusely before entering the operating room. In the end, although the wife was safe and sound, unfortunately the child could not be saved. Since then the wife has been plagued by nightmares for a long time. She has become extremely haggard. She is even distracted while driving and almost got into a car accident. Even though they are now a happy family of 4, the pain of losing their child can never be forgotten. The wife realizes that she can no longer go on like this, so she proposes to her husband to adopt a child. She wants to place the guilt she feels for her deceased child on a living child. So the next day the couple comes to the orphanage, and this place becomes the beginning of all tragedies, because at this time someone has already been secretly eyeing the couple. There are many lively and lovely orphans here, but the husband is attracted by a burst of singing, so he follows the singing to the second floor and meets the 9-year-old girl Isha here. The two hit it off immediately. Soon the wife and the director also come up, and when the director sees Isha, her expression looks somewhat intriguing. The couple gets along very well with Isha. They think Isha is more special than ordinary children, so in the end they decide to adopt Isha. The director tells the couple that Isha has been adopted before, but unfortunately the adoptive family had a fire. In the end only Isha managed to escape with great difficulty, so the poor girl became an orphan again. After hearing this the couple feels even more sorry for Isha, so they are more determined to adopt her. Finally Isha is taken home by the couple. In order to get along well with her deaf-mute younger sister, Isha even specially learns sign language to greet her. But the elder brother does not like this new younger sister so much, especially since their parents are all fawning over her and even prepared gifts for her. This makes the boy feel very unhappy. It feels like he is the adopted one, and at this moment Isha's eyes seem to be showing off. That night Isha uses being afraid of thunder as an excuse, successfully sleeps next to her stepfather. But the stepfather has no idea about her scheming, and every time before going to school, Isha always wears a bracelet and a collar, and her dressing style is also very old-fashioned. Sure enough, she is ridiculed by her classmates as soon as they meet her, but with just one look, Isha instantly silences everyone. But because of her weird dressing style, Isha is still bullied by her classmates. But even if the classmates throw her books everywhere, Isha still does not say a word. However, when a female classmate just touches her collar, she immediately starts screaming and going crazy, scaring the onlookers into freezing in place. That day after school, Isha sits on the swing and stares at the female classmate intensely, and the female classmate also senses the danger. But the most terrifying thing is, in the time it takes for her to turn around, Isha disappears. Realizing the danger, she starts looking around frantically, but no matter how careful she is, something finally happens to her. But this scene is just seen by her younger sister. That night the stepfather receives a call from the female classmate's parents. The other party says that Isha pushed her down. After hearing this, Isha immediately says that she fell down by herself, and when the parents ask the younger sister even testifies that the girl fell down by herself. Seeing this, the parents also believe Isha. It seems that Isha has already bribed the younger sister in advance, but the next day the mother receives a call from the director. She wants to confirm if Isha has caused any trouble. After hearing this, the mother tells her about the girl falling off the slide, and also says that it may be Isha who pushed her down. After hearing this, the director's face changes drastically immediately. The thing she was most worried about still happened, so she says she will come for a home visit tomorrow to explain some things. And what the mother does not know is, all this is heard by her youngest daughter who can read lips. Naturally, she also tells Isha. That night the couple has a dispute because of the slide incident. The mother suspects that it may be Isha who did it, but the father thinks it was just an accident. The quarrel slowly shifts to distrust of each other. Then the two have a big fight, and Isha grins from ear to ear next door. Her purpose is to destroy the relationship between her adoptive parents. The next day the director rushes to the house. As soon as she enters the door she apologizes to the couple, because there are some things she did not tell them. When Isha was still in the orphanage, although she was never seen directly causing trouble, she was present every time there was trouble, whether it was fighting, stealing things or someone getting hurt. Isha was just there. However, what is even more suspicious is the fire that happened in the previous adoptive family. The investigation results show that it was arson committed intentionally, and the only person who survived at that time was Isha. But the police do not believe that a little girl would commit arson, so the case was eventually dropped. But the worst thing is, Isha eavesdrops on their conversation. After hearing this, the mother wants to take Isha to see a psychologist, but the father thinks it is unnecessary. She is just a poor 9-year-old girl, and while they are arguing, Isha has already started her evil plan. She not only takes a claw hammer, but also secretly takes the pistol from her father's safe, and also threatens her younger sister to act with her, otherwise she will kill her first. At this moment the director just happens to be leaving. Isha quickly takes her younger sister to hide by the side of the road in advance via a shortcut. When the director passes by here, she takes the opportunity to push her younger sister out suddenly, but fortunately the director reacts quickly and dodges successfully. After stopping the car safely, the director immediately gets out of the car to check on the younger sister's condition. But who would have thought that at this moment? Then she asks her younger sister to help her push the body to the side of the road, seeing that a car is about to pass by at this time. But unfortunately they are still one step ahead. The passing car fails to spot them. But who would have thought that at this moment the director suddenly wakes up? It turns out that she was just temporarily knocked unconscious. Helpless, she tries to escape, but how could Isha let her go? As blow after blow falls heavily, the director stops breathing completely. Then Isha and her younger sister hide the director's body. After finishing, they return to the small wooden house next to their home and hide all the evidence here. Then Isha threatens her younger sister not to tell anyone, otherwise the police will arrest her too. But unexpectedly, when they leave, they are just seen by the elder brother who is nearby. The boy thinks that Isha did not see him, but late that night, a knife is pressed directly against his neck. It turns out that Isha saw him at that time. Isha threatens him that no matter what he saw, he is not allowed to tell anyone, otherwise she will cut off his penis. Now both the elder brother and the younger sister are threatened by Isha. The next day the couple takes Isha to see a psychologist, but they really underestimate Isha. The psychologist not only fails to find anything wrong with Isha, but instead is misled by Isha into thinking that the mother is the problem, because the mother does not accept Isha. That is why she has psychological problems. Since the mother has also seen a psychologist before, the doctor thinks it must be her problem, and also mentions the mother's previous problem with alcoholism, but that was because she turned to drinking to drown her sorrows after the miscarriage. What is even more annoying is that even her husband does not believe her. He would rather believe the so-called psychologist than believe that there is something wrong with Isha. After returning home, the couple falls into a cold war, but then the wife receives a call from the orphanage. Only then does she learn that the director never returned to the orphanage. She suddenly has a bad premonition. That night the police conduct a comprehensive search of the surrounding area. Soon they find the director's body. Then the police come to the house to question them, but unfortunately the couple also knows nothing about it. But the mother still becomes suspicious of Isha. Afterwards the mother conducts an in-depth investigation and finds out that Isha has a typical antisocial personality. She looks like a normal person but is actually extremely dangerous, so she immediately takes the information to show her husband. But who would have thought that after seeing it the husband still refuses to believe it. He insists that how dangerous can a little girl be. Seeing that her husband is unreliable, she has to do it herself. One day she privately asks her 2 biological children if Isha has any strange behavior, but unfortunately both children have already been threatened. None of them are willing to tell the truth. In the afternoon Isha deliberately pretends to be pitiful in front of her father and says that she has been trying very hard to please her mother, but her mother still does not like her, and everything she says is actually paving the way for what happens next. That night she suddenly says she wants to give her mother a surprise. Then she takes out a bunch of white roses from behind her back. When the mother sees them she flies into a rage instantly, and immediately steps forward to grab Isha tightly, because buried under the roses is the fetus she miscarried. The mother has always regarded this pot of flowers as her own child, but now it is destroyed, and the mother has specifically told Isha about this before. This is obviously intentional, but the husband is still so stubborn, and says that Isha did not know and did not do it on purpose. Afterwards the wife looks at the bare rose pot. The sorrow in her heart is beyond words, and Isha's tricks are far from over. She goes to the tool room alone, then breaks her own hand forcefully to frame her mother for it. That night she keeps wailing in bed, successfully luring her father over, and when the father sees the wound he is also shocked. He has to take Isha to the hospital for treatment. After returning he puts Isha in the couple's room. He not only fails to see that the injury is not right, but also firmly believes that it was his wife who broke Isha's hand, and he also sends his wife downstairs to sleep, and stays to sleep with Isha himself. Then the depressed wife goes to the store and buys 2 bottles of wine, but it is these 2 bottles of wine that push her into the abyss completely. She is very sad and originally wants to drink herself into a stupor, but after calming down she remembers that she has already quit drinking, so she immediately pours all the wine down the sink, and the fuse is lit the next day when sending the children to school, because she is busy talking to her son. Isha takes the opportunity to release the handbrake, then the car quickly starts to reverse. When the mother sees this she immediately chases after it. At this moment the youngest daughter is still in the car. Passersby see this and want to come forward to help, but the slope is too steep and the car is too fast to catch up with. But fortunately in the end the car only hits the snow, and the youngest daughter is also safe and sound. The mother knows very well that Isha did this on purpose, but afterwards the husband calls the damn psychologist. She does not believe at all that Isha did it, and also thinks that the mother has a grudge against Isha and wants to shift the blame to her. And at this time the husband takes out the remaining bottle of wine. It was found by Isha and handed over to him. He thinks that the wife was drunk and hungover, which made her mind unclear. That is why she forgot to pull the handbrake and caused the accident. Even if the wife explains that she did not drink the wine but poured it out, in the current situation no one will believe her at all. Not to mention that the people in front of her are not humans, but 2 idiots. In the end Isha is not suspected at all, and they even plan to send the woman for treatment. And at this moment the youngest daughter does not dare to testify at all, because Isha warned her not to tell on her. If she does not obey she will kill her mother. That night the elder brother sneaks into his younger sister's room. He asks his younger sister if Isha did it. Under repeated questioning the younger sister secretly tells the elder brother, and also takes out the painting she drew of the murder scene. Only then does the elder brother learn the truth about the director's murder, and also learns that Isha hid the murder weapon in the wooden house. However, the worst thing is, Isha has already eavesdropped on their conversation outside the door. The next day the boy sneaks out of the house. He wants to find the evidence in the wooden house, but strangely he cannot find it no matter how hard he looks. At this time Isha suddenly appears behind him. It turns out that she has already collected the evidence in advance, and even the younger sister's painting is there. Then she sprinkles gasoline on these pieces of evidence, and then sets them on fire with a match. Finally she squeezes gasoline around the boy, takes advantage of the boy's inattention to escape immediately, and also locks the only door. Seeing this the boy has to climb out through the window, but he is still trapped on the roof. As the flames slowly engulf the wooden house, he also gradually loses his foothold. In the end he falls from the roof and faints. At the same time the mother also finds out Isha's origin online. It turns out that she is from a mental hospital in Russia, but just when she wants to conduct an in-depth investigation, she just happens to find the burning wooden house, so she immediately rushes over there. But at this moment Isha has already lifted a stone. She is ready to give the boy the final blow, but fortunately the younger sister appears in time to stop her, and this also buys time for the mother to arrive. Finally the boy is successfully sent to the hospital, and his condition stabilizes temporarily. Then the wife tells the husband the results of her investigation. As expected the man still does not believe it. The two have a heated argument that lasts for 2.5 minutes, and this just gives Isha an opportunity. She sneaks into the boy's ward, then removes the oxygen mask, and covers the boy tightly with a pillow. As the ECG numbers return to 0, the boy stops breathing just like that. The doctors and parents hear the alarm and rush over immediately, but unfortunately it is already too late. Seeing this the mother is heartbroken, so she immediately turns around and finds Isha, then slaps her hard. But this plays right into Isha's trick. How can anyone believe her now that a mother has struck her daughter so hard in public? Finally the medical staff arrive and inject her with a sedative, and because of this she misses the most important phone call of her life. When she wakes up she is already lying in a hospital bed. Her husband says he will leave her in the hospital for the night, and he will take their 2 daughters home first. When leaving Isha looks back at her, foreshadowing that the final tragedy is about to come. After returning home, the depressed father starts drinking in the living room, while Isha is preparing new clothes in her room. When the father is slightly drunk, Isha puts on heavy makeup and sits next to him. Then she says to her father,
I love you, Daddy.
You too.
I really love you.
I know.
Sure. Let me take care of
Only then does the father realize that something is wrong. He questions Isha if she knows what she is doing, but Isha says with a look of grievance,
You said you loved me.
You are so confused. I don't love you like that.
But even after saying this, Isha still continues to seduce her father, so the father finally loses his patience. He orders Isha to go back to her own room immediately.
Stop talking to me like I'm a child.
Only then does the father realize that his wife was right, so he plans to send Isha back to the orphanage early tomorrow morning, although Isha is completely disheartened after hearing this. At the same time, the father's life also enters the countdown, and on the other side the mother receives the missed phone call. The doctor from Russia tells her to keep her whole family away from Isha, and then call the police immediately to have Isha arrested, because although Isha looks like a 9-year-old girl on the outside, she is actually 33 years old, because she suffers from a rare hormonal imbalance, which causes proportional dwarfism, making her look more like a child than ordinary dwarfs. At first even the woman cannot believe it, but until the doctor mentions the scars. Since Isha is the most violent mental patient in their hospital, they often put her in a straitjacket, and Isha always struggles violently. This causes severe strangulation marks on her wrists and neck. That is why she always wears a collar and a bracelet, and the most terrifying thing is that Isha has already killed 7 people. She pretends to be a little girl to trick several families into adopting her. When the time is ripe, she will seduce her adoptive father. If the adoptive father refuses her, she will kill his entire family, and then set the house on fire to destroy the evidence. A year ago she suddenly disappeared from the mental hospital. Although she is a human being, she is more terrifying than a ghost. After hearing this, the wife immediately rushes home, but now it seems that it should be too late, because the husband has already discovered Isha's secret. The walls of her room are covered with fluorescent graffiti underneath her originally normal paintings. Isha hides a layer of terrifying fluorescent paintings, which can only be seen under a black light. The man is dumbfounded by this scene. At this time the phone rings downstairs. It turns out that the wife calls to remind him, but just as he is about to answer, the phone suddenly cuts off at home. This is obviously Isha's doing. The wife, who cannot get through the phone, is rushing back desperately, and also calls the police, by the way. But the husband is out of luck. After the power outage, he looks for Isha everywhere, but instead is stabbed in the kidney by Isha with a knife. In the end, he is stabbed several times by Isha and loses his life. However, the worst thing is that this scene is just seen by the youngest daughter, and she becomes the next target. The little girl is so scared that she quickly hides in the wardrobe, but Isha outside the door is already approaching step by step. But fortunately, the mother, who arrives home, deliberately crashes into the glass door. The noise she makes attracts Isha's attention, so Isha takes the adoptive father's pistol, and when the adoptive mother enters the door, she just sees her husband, who has died a tragic death. Even though she is extremely sad at this moment, at this time she thinks of her daughter again, so she immediately rushes to her daughter's room. However, the wardrobe is already empty at this moment. She has to search every room, but who would have thought that when she approaches the window, Isha shows her old and real face. Now it is her favorite cat and mouse game. She starts approaching her adoptive mother step by step, but fortunately the adoptive mother hides. At this time there is a sudden noise from the flower bed. Then the mother looks down and finds that her daughter is hiding here, but the noise also attracts Isha. Then she looks up and finds her adoptive mother, but she only fires one shot and does not pay any more attention to her adoptive mother. It turns out that she has already set her sights on the hiding younger sister. Soon the younger sister is found by Isha, but fortunately her marksmanship is really bad. She fires several shots, but none of them hit. But seeing that the situation is getting more and more dangerous, the mother directly smashes the roof glass and falls down, hitting Isha right on top of her. Then the mother takes the gun, but she does not take the opportunity to kill Isha, because the police will arrive soon. Finally, the mother and daughter meet the arriving police outside the house, but unexpectedly when the police come to the flower bed, they find that Isha has actually disappeared. At this moment, the mother and daughter have not yet sensed the danger, but the next second Isha charges at them with a knife. The mother just takes out the gun and is knocked down the hillside by Isha. The two roll onto the frozen lake surface like this. Then Isha launches a fierce attack on her adoptive mother. At the critical moment, the youngest daughter picks up the gun and shoots at the ice surface. Then the ice surface cracks and the two fall into the lake together. But just as the adoptive mother surfaces, she is pulled back down by Isha. The two struggle underwater. At this time, the adoptive mother elbows Isha and stuns her. Then she takes the opportunity to climb up, but unexpectedly Isha grabs her again at this moment.
Please, don't let me die, Mommy.
How could the adoptive mother be fooled by such a trick? So she kicks Isha decisively, sending Isha to the bottom of the lake completely. Only then are the mother and daughter truly safe. Finally, they meet up with the police, and this tragedy finally comes to an end.